One decision. That's all it took to trigger some of history's deadliest disasters. From a single missed safety check to a moment of fatal overconfidence, these catastrophes weren't born from nature's fury, but from human hands. From devastating chemical leaks to nuclear meltdowns, these events changed our world forever. Let's dive into the most catastrophic man-made disasters in history. 1. The Chernobyl nuclear disaster, 1986. One of the most infamous man-made disasters occurred on April 26, 1986, in the small town of Pripyat, Ukraine. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant's reactor No. 4 exploded during a late-night safety test. The explosion released massive amounts of radioactive materials into the atmosphere, far exceeding the levels seen at Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. This disaster wasn't merely an accident, it was a result of poor safety protocols, human error, and flawed reactor design. The Soviet government's delayed response only worsened the impact. Immediate casualties were relatively low, with 31 direct deaths. However, the long-term effects of radiation exposure have led to thousands of cancer-related deaths and health complications across Europe. Pripyat remains a ghost town, and the region around the plant will be uninhabitable for thousands of years. Chernobyl serves as a stark reminder of the risks of nuclear energy when safety takes a back seat. 2. The Bhopal Gas Tragedy, 1984. On the night of December 2nd, 3rd, 1984, the city of Bhopal in India was engulfed in one of the worst industrial disasters ever recorded. A Union Carbide pesticide plant leaked over 40 tons of methyl isocyanate gas, exposing 500,000 people to the toxic fumes. The aftermath was catastrophic. Over 3,000 people died within hours, and the death toll climbed to an estimated 20,000 in the following weeks and months. Survivors suffered from chronic respiratory issues, blindness, and other severe health problems, effects that are still felt today. The tragedy was a result of corporate negligence. Inadequate safety measures, poor maintenance, and cost-cutting practices led to the disaster. Even decades later, the site remains contaminated, and justice for the victims has been slow and incomplete. 3. The Exxon Valdez oil spill, 1989. On March 24, 1989, the Exxon Valdez oil tanker struck a reef in Prince William Sound, Alaska, spilling approximately 11 million gallons of crude oil into the pristine waters. This disaster decimated marine life and the local fishing industry, as the oil covered over 1,300 miles of coastline. The spill was largely preventable. Investigations revealed that the tanker's captain, Joseph Hazelwood, was intoxicated, and Exxon had failed to implement proper safety measures. The cleanup efforts were insufficient and poorly managed, leaving long-lasting environmental damage. Even decades later, some areas remain polluted, and wildlife populations have not fully recovered. 4. The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire, 1911. On March 25, 1911, a fire broke out on the top floors of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory in New York City. The fire claimed the lives of 146 workers, most of whom were young immigrant women. Many were trapped because the factory owners had locked the exit doors to prevent theft and unauthorized breaks. This disaster was a direct result of poor working conditions and neglect for workers' safety. The fire highlighted the need for labor reforms, leading to significant changes in workplace safety regulations in the U.S. However, it came at a horrifying cost, marking a turning point in labor rights history. 5. The Titanic sinking, 1912. Often romanticized, the sinking of the RMS Titanic remains one of the most tragic maritime disasters. On the April 15, 1912, the unsinkable ship struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic and sank within hours, claiming over 1,500 lives. The disaster was not just a natural occurrence. Human factors played a significant role. The ship was traveling at high speed despite iceberg warnings, and there were not enough lifeboats for all passengers. The arrogance of its designers and operators, who believed it was invulnerable, led to a loss of life that could have been mitigated with proper precautions. 6. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill, 2010. Another oil spill that rocked the world was the Deepwater Horizon disaster. On April 20th, 2010, the Deepwater Horizon oil rig, operated by BP, exploded into the Gulf of Mexico, killing 11 workers and releasing an estimated 210 million gallons of oil into the sea over 87 days. The spill devastated marine ecosystems, killed countless wildlife, and crippled local fishing and tourism industries. BP was found guilty of gross negligence, as the explosion was linked to cost-cutting measures and ignored safety concerns. The company paid billions in fines and settlements, but the environmental damage remains a painful legacy. 7. The Holocaust, 1941 to 1945. The Holocaust is one of the darkest chapters in human history. During World War II, Nazi Germany, led by Adolf Hitler, systematically exterminated 6 million Jews and millions of others, including Romani people, disabled individuals, political prisoners, and more. This genocide was the result of an ideology rooted in hatred, racism, and a desire for ethnic cleansing. The horrors of concentration camps like Auschwitz and Treblinka serve as chilling reminders of humanity's capacity for evil when power is abused. The Holocaust is not just a historical tragedy, but a crucial lesson in the importance of fighting intolerance and bigotry. 8. The Space Shuttle Challenger disaster, 1986. On January 28, 1986, He Space Shuttle Challenger broke apart 73 seconds after liftoff, killing all 7 crew members aboard, including the schoolteacher Krista McAuliffe. The world watched in shock as the tragedy unfolded live on television. Investigations revealed that the disaster was caused by a failure in the O-ring seals in the shuttle's right solid rocket booster. Engineers had warned about the risks of launching in cold weather, but NASA management overrode these concerns under pressure to meet schedules. This disaster underscored the dangers of ignoring expert warnings and prioritizing deadlines over safety. 9. The Rana Plaza collapse, 2013. The collapse of the Rana Plaza building in Dhaka, Bangladesh, on April 24, 2013, was the deadliest garment industry disaster in history. The building, which housed several garment factories, crumbled, killing over 100 workers and injuring thousands more. Despite visible cracks in the structure the day before, workers were forced to return under threat of losing their jobs. The tragedy highlighted the brutal conditions and lack of safety in the global fashion supply chain. It sparked worldwide outrage and led to calls for better labor protections and ethical sourcing practices. 10. The Great Smog of London, 1952. While not a single event, the Great Smog of London in December 1952 was a public health disaster. A combination of the coal-burning, industrial emissions, and weather conditions led to a thick toxic fog that blanketed the city for 5 days. The smog caused respiratory illnesses, and an estimated 12,000 people died as a result. This disaster was entirely preventable, caused by the unchecked pollution from industrial activities and domestic coal fires. It led to significant changes in air quality regulations, including the Clean Air Act of 1956. These disasters share one stark truth: human error and negligence often lie at the root. While these tragedies remind us of past mistakes, they've also sparked crucial safety reforms and technological advances. If you found this informative, please subscribe and share to help others learn these vital historical lessons. Together, we can work to prevent history from repeating itself.